welcome back to There Will Be Expletives. I'm Geoff.
I'm Ron.
And this is episode 105.
Damn.
Otherwise known as 104 Too Many. You're welcome, America. All right, Ron, how about we just go ahead and jump right into the news, because I'm actually really excited to get to our discussion point today, which is pet peeves in entertainment. And our specialty, since we do not bury the lead, is expletives, so I think it'll be a fun time, but let's go ahead and get going. First up in the news, this is, to me, probably the coolest story of the week. DC Comics paid tribute to Adam West's passing by having a 2-page spread in every issue that was released this week.
Nice.
And let's see, I wanted to get the exact... So it was an image of him back in the old Batman 66 costume, and it had a quote by him. "I never had to say I'm Batman. I showed up. People knew I was Batman."
Yeah.
Probably like the best Adam West quote ever.
I can almost hear it in his voice.
Right.
It sounds very much Adam West.
Or Ralph Garman's impression of Adam West.
People knew I was Batman.
Accompanying the quote was basically DC Comics saying like their thanks to him. They said, "Thanks for being our first real hero, old chum, from your pals at DC Comics." How fucking cool is that? Like that literally like warmed my dead stale heart reading this. It was so good.
And then PlayerUnknown's quickly snuffed that out.
Fuck you, pubs. You goddamn glitchy ass amazing game that I can't stop playing.
But yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. Seems oddly late compared to all the other tributes, but pretty awesome.
Well, they get comics prepped ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So this was probably the earliest they could do it, because they probably have them already shipped they probably have them already printed, ready to ship, just in case they encounter like a misprint or something where they can scrap the batch and then fix it before it's already out there. But that's just me spitballing. But yeah, I love the tribute they paid to him, because it is well deserved. Like DC Comics particularly owes a lot to him, because without if they don't put Batman on the map as far as pop culture entertainment, without Batman, the DC universe does not function, especially in the limelight. As far as Superman may have been first, but just because I think Batman 66 and the overall popularity, I think it really was Batman that stuck it into the from going from geek culture to pop culture, referencing like our VOD topic from a few episodes back.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Batmania, and without it, like I said, you don't get Batman 89, which means you don't get Batman the Animated Series. You don't get any of that. Like,
for instance, Superman, is obviously one of the top 3 most recognizable characters on the world and on the face of the planet, but there has never been a moment in time where, like with Batman 89, where you have people literally clippering Batman logos into their head, that, and getting tattoos like all over the place. Like that hasn't happened on a widespread scale. There hasn't been Superman mania, and I think that's an important distinction. While we're talking about DC, Suicide Squad 2 looks to be narrowing in on a potential director. I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of his name. I actually researched how to pronounce it and got like 2 or 3 different pronunciations. So I'm gonna go with Jaume Collet-Serra. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
But I don't know, so I apologize, Jaume Collet-Serra, whatever your name is.
I apologize, Jaume.
So
I'm calling you Jaume, because it sounds too much like Jaume.
It just makes me think of Jaime Reyes, the Blue Beetle from Young Justice. So,
nerd.
Really? Really?
Oh, and how often do you hear a Blue Beetle reference?
You just gave me like a 2-hour description on Transformers War for Cybertron and how you were complaining about they didn't use Laserbeak in a certain instance. So you go fuck yourself, Ron Huddleston. But back on topic. The first... This podcast is already completely derailed.
Oh, God.
So, the first movie... David Ayer directed the first movie. He will not be back for the sequel. That
in any capacity?
Maybe as a producer. That's probably like the most.
Because he was writer and director, right?
Yes, he wrote and directed the first one. He's not going to be back for the second one, primarily because he is a busy guy, even outside of. Because like with the DC guys, they don't have as many like in-house people like Marvel does.
Right.
They don't have like that little like writer school that they send people through.
It shows.
Yeah, with DC, Wonder Woman was good. Finally, they had one that was good. No, but they kind of have people pop in, write a thing, direct a thing, and usually bail.
Yeah.
But he will not be back. If David Ayer does return, it will be before the Gotham City Sirens, which I think he's still attached to. But there's been very little news as far as that project in the last few months.
Yeah, I don't really think we've reported on anything except the announcement of it.
Yeah, basically.
I think that was a long time ago.
So Collet-Serra, his first major debut was the 2005 remake House of Wax,
which I liked.
Yeah, I remember liking it too. It's been forever since I've seen it, but I remember liking it when I did watch it. Especially
always nice to see Paris Hilton bite it.
Right. For a horror remake, it actually was pretty good. Like most of the time, those are just utter terrible dog shit. So
yeah, no, it was. I've never actually seen the original, but as far as horror movies go, it was actually attempting to be atmospheric and everything that you and I said we love about horror movies, and not just kill, gore, gore.
Yeah,
gore.
there were some legitimate moments of tension in it that I even remember, even though I don't remember like the exact like plot lines or like I remember scenes from it that's kind of stuck with me.
Yeah.
His next
There's some
movie,
shit you can't unsee.
Exactly. The next movie he made that really kind of put him on the map was Orphan. Did you ever see Orphan?
No, I haven't.
My parents.
I remember the trailers. The trailers were pretty atmospheric too.
My parents and everyone I've ever talked to that has seen it loves that movie, so I'll have to go back and give it a watch. But the ones that I definitely have seen are he at some point built up kind of like a partnership with Liam Neeson. He directed Unknown, Nonstop, which I really liked both of those. And Run All Night, the more recent one he had done. Did you ever watch that one? That was the one with him and Ed Harris, I think it was, as the bad guy.
I'm pretty sure. I never watched it. I really wanted to, though.
Yeah, I watched it for
I'm always for Liam Neeson kicking ass.
Yeah, exactly. And Ed Harris as a villain. I mean, come on. It's fucking great. So it's at least probably solid. And I believe he's directing... Collider had him listed as directing The Commuter, which I'm pretty sure also has Liam Neeson back in it.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it be if Suicide Squad 2, he fucking somehow talks his buddy Liam Neeson into being the villain?
That'd be pretty
That would be a pretty big sell for like, we got fucking Liam Neeson to be in it. I think that would be a strong get for it. I don't know who the hell he would play, but it don't fucking matter.
I was going to say, you wouldn't be doing Roz, right? Because he already did Roz.
Yeah. So what do you think, based on his catalog, what do you think of him for a potential second Suicide Squad?
Makes sense. I mean,
the only thing that makes me kind of raise an eyebrow is you'll notice the first movie had like comedic sensibilities, and obviously a lot of that comes from the script outside of just if he's just the director, that's a different thing. But it seems like they might be trying to, just because of the critical backlash, I think they might want to move away from like the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe and maybe make it a little bit more serious, just to kind of distance themselves from it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, which I'm not a big fan of that idea, but it makes sense that they would do that just because you and I are the only ones that like that movie.
Yeah. And if we were on Rotten Tomatoes, we would be the 1% of the people that like it. The thing is too, like, I liked the movie. I wouldn't say it was good. Like, it was a fun movie. I wouldn't say it was a particularly good one. Like, it had problems, and I think David Ayer got a lot of backlash specifically at him. When what the fuck was the guy gonna do when they actually greenlit the movie before a script was written? Like, they were literally like, because of the conditions he had, I think he actually did a pretty good job.
I think he did a really good job, especially like you said, DC's been playing catch up. They're not really taking as much consideration as like Marvel would. They're just, we got to get something out.
They're throwing darts and hoping 1 out of 4 darts stick. That's essentially
pretty much.
But with Geoff Johns and John Berg taking over with Wonder Woman, that seemed like they're kind of moving in the right direction. I mean, at the bottom, like, if you just want to get right down to it, like, the guy's had a good catalog. you can't really go wrong to me with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And also, I mean, who knows? Even obviously, Wonder Woman is going to be the flagship going forward. So we don't even know when we might be seeing a Suicide Squad 2, because if it gets to the point to where they start feeling...
surprised we even are.
Yeah. It's just because it was commercially successful. It made bank. It made like 800 million worldwide, or 750 roughly in that range. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. While we're talking comics, we're going to switch over and talk about some Marvel news. And Ron, how about that Spider-Man Homecoming?
Oh,
it was an okay movie. It was all right. I mean, it's fucking amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
I want to go back like right now just to catch the last like 30 minutes of the movie.
I have tickets for Friday.
I want to go again so bad. So we can talk about this, but we're just going to talk about it like vaguely, just because we can talk about it because it was actually shown in trailers. People know that.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was shown in trailers.
Because I never saw this until the movie.
I believe it was in the later trailers after we had stopped watching. Because I remember seeing headlines about this, but
yeah, I'd never heard of it.
Captain America has little PSAs that the high school students in the movie watch. We will not go and talk about any like specific, because some of the best material in the movie has to do with these Captain America scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to tell like any specifics on them, but I can say, per Collider, Spider-Man Homecoming director John Watts talked with them about actually putting together the Cap PSAs. We put it together like it was the actual DVD that they show at the school, so it was just like clicking from one to another. He actually made several more of them that will be on the movie's Blu-ray, as if I needed any more fucking incentive to buy that movie day one.
Right.
I might actually go watch all of these before watching the movie again, because I really want to see. Because like the cool thing is, like he says, like they basically just put a teleprompter in front of Chris Evans to make it as unorganically awkward as possible, because that's what PSAs are. Like I thought they fucking nailed it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, there was one funny quote that he had said. Watts, he said he's just reading it off the scrolling thing and being like, "Are you sure you want me to say this?" I love it. Fucking love
Patience.
it.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, and we'll stop at that because people need to go.
Oh God.
Next up in the MCU news, Samuel L. Jackson is being reported as finally fucking returning via Captain Marvel. So it was first reported by Omega Underground, and then Deadline confirmed it. Omega Underground was making it out like he would potentially be like second billing to Brie Larson, like actually starring in it, not just as a supporting character. But Deadline seemed to pick up that it was going to be more of a minor role, like maybe in the capacity of a Winter Soldier, how he was present, but he is a supporting character in it.
Right.
So if he is in it to some capacity, what did you think about them picking Captain Marvel to like really bring him back? Because he's been kind of absent for the last few movies since Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he's been out traveling the world, taking down Hydra or something. I mean, I'm always cool with more Samuel L. Jackson in my life,
especially in that. He's so fucking good in that role, dude.
Yeah, he is.
It's just him being Samuel L. Jackson. Like,
now, the question I have for you is, at this point, why haven't we gotten like a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie that basically just stars him as the main person, like him and Maria Hill?
You know,
because we got a Nick Fury movie in the past. You would think that they would.
I think it's just one of those things like they've got bigger fish to fry. They're prepping potential franchise starter. Because when you think about it, like the real glaring one to me is Black Widow, given that everyone wants female-led movies. Yeah, how easy would it be to put together a little spy flick with her and Renner? Like,
I know.
They have said they want to do like a mini series for Netflix. They already have a fucking partnership with Netflix. Like, give me that goddamn show. They don't even have to really have any special effects. It would just be an action thriller, Give me that fucking show or movie. So it doesn't surprise me. I don't know. They're a little odd when you think about what has been greenlit. Like the fact that we have 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies before we had a single Black Widow Hawkeye project or Nick Fury or S.H.I.E.L.D. thing. Because like when you see S.H.I.E.L.D. get relegated to a TV show and Guardians of the Galaxy get a major movie and then a sequel, it's a little weird. I mean, they've all worked out for the most part, just because they've had good people on them. But what gets greenlit and what gets delayed is intriguing. Like the fact that even DC beat them to a female-led movie is really weird to me.
Yeah, I do not understand how they let that happen.
Because Marvel, at the time that Wonder Woman came out, DC had Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, right? They only had 2. So the third movie, the third film they had featured a female lead. At that time, Marvel had what, 19 or 20 movies? Something ridiculous like that, and not a single one female-led.
I guess it's their 4th, Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah, I've forgotten about Suicide Squad.
We just talked about Suicide Squad 2.
I guess we're
oh yeah, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's super cool, super fun time. Really, really great movie. But how many seriously though, how many MCU movies are there? Was it
Doctor Strange was 14 or 15?
Sounds I can't remember. It's in the like mid to late teens.
Yeah.
The fact that they almost got to 20 without one is very weird. So I don't know. The thing that intrigues me about Captain Marvel actually is how they're going to go about explaining her origin. Because I don't know if you're familiar with this. In the comics, she actually ties in with the Kree and the Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
Into a certain extent. She isn't an Inhuman, I don't think, but she is. She's kind of like, you know how Coulson in the show has like Kree blood in him or whatever?
Right.
I think she, like a lot of her powers come from her having Kree blood. So with the way that they kind of pretend Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist.
Thor will be 17.
Thor will be so Homecoming was 16.
13, 14, 15, 16. Yep. Yeah,
okay.
Thor will be 17, so Homecoming was 16.
Okay. Yeah, that's staggering, especially because it's still like 2019. It's still a couple years out, and they're going to have at least 2 or 3 movies every year. So by the time Captain Marvel does come out, they will be in the 20s, more than likely. Yep. So,
because it's slated right now for March 8th, 2019.
So I'm really curious how they go about setting up her character's backstory, because obviously I don't think they're going to keep... I mean, I guess they could, because they have used the Kree to an extent in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
didn't they even... They've used them in S.H.I.E.L.D. and they used them in Guardians of the Galaxy... But didn't they have a reference somewhere in the Avengers, I thought? Or something like that? You didn't see them, but didn't they like mention them or something?
Probably during one of like the Thanos scenes or something when they were talking.
Yeah, something.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, I love Brie Larson. I think she's going to be great in it. I just don't really know how they go about doing it, but they'll figure it out. I mean, have you watched that Black Panther trailer yet?
No.
They shockingly did not have it on Spidey, and I was kind of upset because I wanted to see it on the big screen. That Black Panther trailer.
I figured I couldn't avoid it on Spider-Man. Yeah. I'm definitely not going to be able to avoid it on Thor in November.
Are you going back to the Warren to watch Spidey again, or are you going to Cinemark?
Yeah, we're going to the Warren.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be curious to see if it is on that showing that you go to. Let's see. To wrap up the movie news...
This is pretty cool.
Man, I don't even collect these.
We need to monitor eBay.
I want the Deadpool one really bad. So
we need to monitor eBay just to see what these fucking sell for.
So San Diego Comic-Con is around the corner.
Shall we tell the people?
we're just gonna we're gonna gush about it. We should do that at some point. We should just talk about something and never reveal what it is, just to bug 2 people in the world really, really crazy. So at San Diego Comic-Con, Fox is going to have 5 vinyl editions of their more recent, bigger blockbuster movies, which include Deadpool, Logan, Kingsman, and the first 2 Modern Apes movies. And
Deadpool vinyl is gorgeous.
Now, that is cool for audiophiles who or people who like to collect vinyl. I am not a person who wants vinyl. I don't even have a thing that can play them. I'm not really a big music collector to begin with. I want them for the box art, because the box art on these bastards, especially the Deadpool one, is amazing. Google Deadpool vinyl. You'll probably find what we're talking about. But he is on a unicorn. He is on a grid via like Tron.
Yeah.
That is the way I described it in my article about this. And he has title lettering that is 80s as fuck, and I love all of the above.
You mentioned the unicorn, but not the fact that he's riding on a rainbow that's being farted out of its ass.
Yes, yeah. Like, I'm going to try, it's black and white, but I'm going to try pulling up you kind of get like a gist of what we're talking about.
Nope, you didn't even get in frame.
There you go. Is that better, Ron? Are you happy now?
I can't see a goddamn thing.
All right. Well, it's
you realize I'm probably going to put it in post, right? It's probably over us right now as we're talking.
Don't ever expect me to assume we'll actually overachieve in something. Okay, I'm just saying. The Logan one is also really cool. It's like the front of it's half of the picture and the back of it's the other half. The first half has like the heroic leads, but like Professor X, Logan, and Laura, and then the other half has the villains. And man, I want them really bad, but these are being sold only at San Diego Comic-Con, and not only that, in limited quantities. So like you mentioned on eBay, they will probably be like $1,000 to get your hands on one of these. And because of that Deadpool thing, it's almost worth $1,000.
It's almost worth it.
It's fucking glorious.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that that's even a thing, like, to begin with.
They will be purchasable at the Fox Fanfare booth at San Diego Comic-Con. That is all for the movie news. We had one bit of TV news. It was a bit of a light week because everyone's basically battening down the hatches for Comic-Con. Also, D23, just to stick up even more middle fingers to San Diego, set their conference for the weekend before Comic-Con. It's just like, oh, you're adorable without your Marvel and your Star Wars and all of that shit.
Right.
Although, I think they're having... I'm pretty sure Star Wars isn't appearing in any capacity at Comic-Con. I think they're still having Marvel panels, but any of their cool shit is going to be at D23. They're going to keep it in-house. So, yeah.
What they're going to do is they're going to announce it all at D23 and then have the panels in Hall H about the shit they already talked about.
Yeah, yeah. So all the cool trailers and shit are going to be coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
For Marvel and Star Wars. The bit of TV news we had, though, was pretty cool. Stranger Things Season 2 via a new poster and a little like motion poster on their Twitter account, I believe, revealed when Season 2 will be released. It is coming out October 27th, so it'll be Halloween weekend. There'll be 9 episodes. I will probably watch those all in one sitting. Because the first show I think I watched in like 2 sittings. Because the first season was pretty damn good. Like,
yeah,
the best thing about Stranger Things 2, outside of the fact that it is a good show, is that I hope to God they realize they can work on fewer episodes.
Yes.
Because almost all of their shows, even the good ones, have 2 or 3 too many episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the case of Iron Fist, 13 too many
many episodes. What's funny is we got something like this at the Super Bowl. And that's like when they announced Season 2. And I did not realize it was a single creature in the cloud on the Super Bowl one. I thought it was multiple.
Oh, with the giant, like, creepy crawly thing? Yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I want to watch it. Like,
yeah.
Because they, I forget what the exact quote was, but the, I think it was like the Duggar brothers. I think those are the guys who write and produce and direct the show for the most part, like the showrunners. They said the Demogorgon dude from the first season is going to be like a pissant compared to what they're making for the second one. So it's like, I approve of Stranger Things. I can't wait.
I think my favorite touch in this whole poster, though, is the welcome to Hawkins just to the right of the boys.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Man, I also love the fact, too, that they did increase the episode order, like I had mentioned, but it was only by 1, like 9. Yeah. That's totally solid. Like,
yes, I can get behind that.
Very few moments of dicking around when you have that few episodes. Ron, I forgot to start my timer. Could you give me a time check?
24:45.
Cool. We have plenty of time to discuss our pet peeves entertainment. Are you ready for this, Ron?
Yes, I am pulling up my list, actually.
because this is a bit of an occasion, because typically we like to keep our VOD discussions kind of positive. This is all negative, and
goddamn right it is.
I'm actually kind of excited because we're actually living up to our name.
It's been a while since we just ranted.
Yeah. What? Iron Fist. That was the last time we ranted. Speaking of the devil.
You more than me, because I quit after the second episode.
Yeah, you were the sane person in the group, but yeah.
No, I was just kicking back with my popcorn, just watching you go until you're like red in the face.
You're actually kind of glad Iron Fist happened, just because you knew I would watch it. Therefore, I could complain about it on the podcast while you just watch. You're like that Michael Jackson meme, like just popping the popcorn.
Right.
Yeah. Ron, why don't you start us off? What we're going to do, we're just going to list them until we run out of time, and we'll probably go back to part 2 of this type of segment in a future episode. But yeah, give me a pet peeve of yours from entertainment, be them movies, gaming, TV, just whatever. What's the first thing that you got?
I don't even remember what I need to start writing down what I was watching when these things happened. I can give examples, but I didn't write down specifically what I was watching. This is in no particular order, but this one is first on my list. Things that people would never actually say. Like when people yell, Yahoo! Or Yay! Or You're slow as pigs swimming in gravy.
That was a masterclass of cinematic writing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like when, the thing that really gets me out of all the shit I can complain about in a Star Wars movie is Han Solo just yelling, Yahoo! That pulls me straight out of the movie every time. that never bothered me. The one that gets me is, this is pod racing. That was so fucking stupid.
Like high ground. High ground.
But I mean, when you're ecstatic like that, you don't actually shout Yahoo. You just make this guttural ah.
Seek out which video was it? There was one of our, it might have been the final boss of Dark Souls. You get a good guttural scream from me when we actually beat that son of a bitch.
You peaked not only our levels, the podcast next door's levels as well.
Yeah. It was insane, and those were good. Those were awful, but in retrospect, amazing times when we tried.
I don't even think you can make it out as a scream. I think it's just static. Like the microphone doesn't even know what to do.
If you play it backwards, it's just like devil worship, like people used to do with like the old Zeppelin albums and shit. No, what? Okay, your first instinct was to go to, and I knew you were, because I remember us talking about specifically the Han Solo line.
Right.
Is there anything recent of an example of that just kind of comes to mind that you kind of just face palmed while you were watching it?
Other than the pig swimming in gravy,
I think that one really fucking good one.
I think that one got added to it later as an example, but I think this came up in a conversation with my wife. Is where it came up. I think she was watching something, and we got to talking about it.
Gotcha.
I don't remember actually specifically watching something when I wrote this one down.
Yeah, it's just kind of a generalized thing.
Yeah.
Okay, my first one kind of ties into yours to an extent, but it doesn't have to do with dialogue. Mine is, and what made me laugh, I told you earlier off camera, it made me laugh just because of the way I had written it, but I wrote down characters doing dumb shit.
Okay.
And the first thing that comes to my mind is the Evil Dead remake from 2012 or 2013 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking hate that movie. That is the one movie in the history of all time I have wanted to get up and walk out of. Because I sat through 13 episodes of Iron Fist. Just because I am the type of person that thinks, in order to have a review of said thing, you have to watch, read, or experience the thing.
Did not bother me in the least reviewing it off of 2 episodes.
I could have saved myself 11 hours of my life that I'm never getting back if I had just, whenever I heard, you're slower than pig swimming in gravy, off on Netflix, just walk away. That's what should have happened.
You actually cancel your Netflix subscription for a month just so they don't get your $9.99?
I wish I had done that now. I wish I had done that. No, but okay, no. The thing that pissed me off about that goddamn Evil Dead remake, and by the way, everyone else seemed to love it. Well, I fucking hated it. Like, I fucking hate that movie.
I've never seen either one. I've seen Evil Dead 2, but I've never seen either one, the remake or the first one.
And like the thing that really pissed me off was it's a horror movie. People are going to do dumb shit. I'm actually going into your movie prepped for that.
Right.
But the people in that movie are so unbelievably stupid, they even break that scale. And the thing
they go through all the doors they shouldn't go through.
Oh, you don't even fucking know, dude. Like, I'm just like tearing my goddamn hair out watching this movie, right?
Right.
And the thing that made it even more annoying to me, they have a book in the fucking room with them that can possess people. They have a fucking plot device 10 feet from the people that can make them do whatever you want and all is forgiven because the goddamn evil book that fucking possesses people. Did they bother to write any of that in that goddamn script? Fuck no. That would require talent. Like, good God, that movie made me angry. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, characters, even, I mean, it happens even, like, horror is the main thing. And that's why I said, like, I go into it expecting it. So I will give horror movies slack. Like, but when you can make especially a horror movie that is fundamentally logically sound, like your horror movie bumps up, like Don't Breathe. They take time. They take time and Don't Breathe to write reasonings behind people doing stuff, reasonings why they can't leave. Like everything is logically sound. They took the time to actually reread the fucking script.
Yes.
Which is my main thing. Make sure your goddamn script makes sense before you fucking greenlight it.
I still have nightmares about that movie, by the way.
So good.
So good. I know we're trying to channel the negative, but I don't think we've ever told this on the podcast, though. When you and I went to go see Don't Breathe, and there's that moment where everybody's in a circle around him, and he's listening for them, and the person steps backwards on a creaky board, and like 2 rows in front of us, you hear this woman go, "Oh shit!"
And the theater could not have. You could have heard a pin drop when she said that, so the whole theater just busted out laughing. Oh, and that movie raised like a star just with that thing happening alone.
There was something else I don't remember what else there was. There was something else like that happened from behind us, but
yeah. Good times. Good times.
At one point, a girl screamed. Maybe that's what it was.
I don't
flat
blame
out
them.
Screamed.
I don't blame
dude, I wanted to, but I was too busy not breathing like it told me to.
Yeah.
Okay, Geoff. This one I wrote down while watching an old Mystery Science Theater because I'm sick and tired of fucking hearing this. It was in that movie. It's in a few of the Star Wars movies. It's in every made-for-TV movie that's ever been. It's in a ton
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
The fucking Wilhelm scream.
See, I understand.
It is time to retire the goddamn Wilhelm scream.
That is okay. For movies like being made right now, I'm with you. But I don't have a problem with movies in like the 70s, like almost 50 years ago, doing it because it was still kind of like a modern in-joke, if you get what I'm saying at that point.
Right.
So I don't personally have an issue with having it in old movies, but for modern movies, I'm with you. Like, it needs
I think it helps that in StarCraft, there's a unit that when they die, it's the Wilhelm scream, and you make that unit in mass, so it dies in mass.
Do you know what needs to bring back the Wilhelm scream in a big bad way? It would make it even more amazing. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. If every time someone died, there was a Wilhelm scream.
You start recording your sessions, and I'm going to start editing that in.
Like, oh my god, it'd be incredible. And especially with like the janky-ass ways you can die inexplicably. Like, if your car is going too fast, like if your car is going 25 miles per hour and you eject from the vehicle, you like get fucking knocked out. So if you're just like, Wilhelm scream, like fucking, we need to make this happen.
The game you're playing tonight should have heard 2 when your character died, and then you hear the second one, and it just cuts to your camera, and you're just in your chair.
And I have the face from The Ring, like I'm all just like,
You have Peter's face.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Although I can't
time to retire that damn screen.
I can't remember what was like the most recent. Like they've got most bigger productions have gotten away from it. Like it's been a while since I can remember one happening.
I heard it. I heard it most recently in an old Mystery Science Theater, right? Like season 7 or something of Mystery Science Theater. And I was just like, oh my God, why? And then Crow, of course, made a wisecrack about it. And I was like, thank you. My spirit animal, Crow.
And you know what's super ironic is my next one actually came courtesy of Mystery Science Theater as well.
Really?
And it is old movies having the most god-awful voice dubbing. Oh. It drives me... like, what's funny...
Was it the Hands of Manos or whatever?
All of them. All of them. Like... You're not even
watching. It really highlights the ADR. It really,
yeah. Like the outside of CGI, like the thing that has become like the most impressive, if you compare a movie from like the 50s and 60s or like early 70s to today, is like good God, ADR is amazing. What they're able to do with it. Yeah. Because like you're watching MST3K, you're not even watching it to watch the movie. Most of the time, you can't even fully hear the movie because you're hearing the voiceover from, Crow and the guys. And it still drives me fucking crazy watching it. Like, it physically hurts me hearing god-awful, out-of-sync dubbing. It hurts us. It hurts. It burns us, Precious. It burns us. Yeah. Fucking drives me nuts. Drives me fucking nuts.
Oh, God. So, when we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and we had... Hot Fuzz on in the background. Fucking bicycle rides by. So, of course, we have a little bicycle bell. I'm fucking tired of the bicycle bell anytime a bicycle has to be on screen.
I never even realized that was a trope until just now, but you're absolutely right. Like,
most of the time, there's nothing attached to the handlebars on these bicycles. Who is ringing the goddamn bell as someone rides by? Because I hate it so much, I look for the goddamn bell on the bicycles.
So every time you see a bike, even like near the screen in a movie, you're like on bell red alert. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
Like I'm waiting for it every time.
That is, you have really specific pet peeves that you were like actively looking for more examples of.
There are there's like yours is going to be a little bit more sophisticated because you're the writer between the two of us. Mine is things that needle me. Things that just kind of get a little under my skin and then twist.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I never in a million years would even recognize that was happening, but it is.
It's one of those things that it's not just Hot Fuzz. Like it's in Doctor Who. It's in anytime you're watching a movie or TV show. There's a goddamn bicycle bell. If there's a bicycle,
and I'm honestly willing to.
And it's the same bell. It's a little ching ching.
And it almost kind of depends on the movie too. Like, I'm almost willing to give Hot Fuzz a pass just because you know who is writing and directing it.
The type of movie it is.
Because the type of movie it is. Edgar Wright could have intentionally done that just because it's a trope, because Edgar Wright's a fucking genius and like knows how to goddamn write.
It was hot. I bring Hot Fuzz because it's the most recent thing I saw that had it.
Yeah.
We were playing the game and I picked up my phone and wrote it down right then and there because of Hot Fuzz.
You know what I'm getting you for Christmas, right? I'm gonna roll in a fucking BMX bike with the biggest goddamn bell with a big red bow on it.
It's just got a gong and a hammer.
Maybe. Adds gong to Amazon wish lists.
At least if it was a gong anytime you saw a bicycle, I could get behind that because it's not the little goddamn fairy bell.
We're going to start a new trope. It's the gong instead of the bicycle bell.
The gong.
So my next one actually ties into something you just referenced as well. We're having amazing segues, and this was completely accidental, and that's probably the reason. You mentioned most of mine are going to be tied into like writing. My next one, you'll probably get what as I'm about to say, you'll probably remember. Not knowing how to write meta material and crowbarring it into your movie anyway.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, I ended up really liking that movie. It's a ton of fun. They should have... Now, I know it's probably more studio head, like, hey, those Avengers movies are pretty cool. People seem to like those. That better be in the script. And the writer's just like... it's like, fuck me. And yeah, you have to do it because you're being paid to fucking write the movie. But damn, there are some terrible lines in that movie.
So terrible.
Like, grind the movie to a fucking halt level bad. Like, nothing should have been said, and the scene works better. You know,
them like trying to figure out who's Iron Man and not in the group and shit like that.
No, I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I like that movie, but it still fucking hurts me.
And yeah, it has all the amazing Krispy Kreme stuff.
I know when it like it's almost
it was
like
so all over the place.
It's like 10 minutes later you'll have this like fucking and it's not exactly meta, but you just want to talk about how all over the movie, how all over the place that movie is, I should say. That thing with the cow, which you know what I'm talking about. What the fuck was up with that? I don't know. And that was like how they're opening the movie. It's like, what? That's an awkward ass note to start off your fucking lead characters on. Like, what the actual fuck is happening?
I don't even know.
Yeah. I kind of want to watch Power Rangers again, though, because I actually like that movie. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, obviously the best person at it is Joss Whedon. Just watch The Avengers, the first one, you'll fucking know.
Yeah.
Okay. That man is playing Gallica. He doesn't think we saw it, but we did.
And then later it cuts to a guy like going boop, and then Galaga comes up.
Like, you have to be like, it is such a fine line between being able to pull that off and not being able to pull that off. And like Joss Whedon always manages to make it work, and I don't know how he does it.
He's the king of being
don't know how he does it.
I don't know how. So this one, it dates back to even like Die Hard movies and everything for me. This really annoys me. And I wrote this one down watching Avengers. Thank you again for a segue.
New rule, no prep on fucking anything, and it's like a magical goddamn like segue fucking fest.
Push to talk. Fucking drives me up the wall.
Okay, explain. I don't know exactly what you mean.
How many times in a movie have you seen someone yelling into a walkie-talkie and then someone else interrupts them?
Oh, like not understanding the way that the one-way radio works type of thing?
It's like poker in movies for you is walkie-talkies in movies for me. Because that ain't the way that it works. That's not how any of this works.
And then
the first person that is talking never hears the second person.
There is a reason that whole over thing exists.
Yes. So they know when to talk.
And that's also such like a basic ass thing because everyone has a play walkie-talkie when they're a little kid. Like everyone has had that toy.
For Christ's sake, it's called push to talk. The other person is still pushing. You see it in Joyride with the CB radio stuff.
Although that's a good movie. I do like that movie.
It's a damn good movie. But god damn it, there's CB radio stuff. People talking over each other.
Especially for how prevalent it is. Because like, you know, with shit like Die Hard or Rambo, like action movies, when it's not really the point, it's a little bit more forgivable. But when so much like the entire villain is presented through radio, maybe do your research on that, J.J. Abrams.
It's called half duplex. A telephone is full duplex. You can talk, you can send while receiving. You cannot do that on push to talk. Yeah,
especially since J.J. Abrams wrote that movie, or at least a part of the scripts for it. So I expect a little bit better out of J.J. in that regard.
Especially for how technical he likes to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one is a trope that it's prevalent everywhere. They did it in fucking Tomb Raider in one of our recordings.
And you immediately deleted the recording.
That episode never aired. No.
Yeah, the magical episode that never aired. Okay, and continuing our line of magical segue powers, my next one was poker.
Nice.
My very next one was poker. And like on that exact same thought, it takes 2 minutes.
I'm all in.
It takes 2 minutes to go to goddamn Google and understand how Texas Hold'em limits work. When you go all in, the whole fucking table, it just drives me fucking crazy. like the only way everyone can go all in, like if you go all in with less chips, you cannot win your opponent's massive mound of chips that has more than you. The only person that can win in an all-in table-wide scenario is the person who has the most chips. And that takes fucking two. When I am writing my shit that isn't even being paid for, if I get to a situation where I don't fully understand what I'm writing about, I march my ass over to the internet, which we all fucking have, and do research on it to try and at least make an attempt on what I'm fucking writing. God damn it, fucking poker and movies. Fuck.
There's one time I give it a pass. And that's because mind control is involved.
Okay, go on.
In Jessica Jones, David Tennant has a poker scene where he makes everybody go all in.
Yeah, when he's mind controlling them into forgetting the fucking rules if he wants to, that's totally fine. The other thing that ties into poker that pisses me off, and even fucking Casino Royale did this, would really piss me off because your fucking movie revolves around a poker game.
Yes,
your
the entire movie
revolves around a goddamn fucking poker game. The name of the movie is Casino Royale, for God's sake. And I cannot stand it when people win a poker game in a movie or a TV show with like a royal flush. Google the odds on even a straight flush.
You'll win the lottery like 5 times in a row before you get a royal flush. And how many times do people flip a card over and it's a royal flush?
Even straight flushes.
I was going to say, and it's always person 1 lays down a straight flush and person 2 lays down a royal flush.
And it's like every time a movie has a poker scene which someone wins with like a full house, I'm like, somebody has played a goddamn game of Texas Hold'em.
Or the actual way most people win, they don't have a goddamn thing in their hand.
We're bringing so much logic to this. The poker
that wins more times than anything. Because the object of poker is not actually the cards.
Yes, it's playing the person in front of you.
Yes.
Yes, before I have an fucking aneurysm, go to your next topic.
I have to call Avengers out for something.
Oh, shit.
This gets me every time. And because I'm just a dumbass, and I just most recently watched Avengers, it's the only example I could come up with off the top of my head. Out-of-place sound effects that don't belong. Drives me insane.
Now, explain the one from Avengers that...
Do you remember in the scene in the lab on the helicarrier, it's just Stark and Banner, and Stark pokes him with a pokey object, and you hear this little electrical sound like it shocked him, but it's not an electrical tool.
I thought it was an electrical tool.
It's just a sharp, pointy thing, and his next line it even has something. Banner's next line is, "I wouldn't come on board if I didn't think I could handle pointy objects." It's not even an electrical thing if you look at it. But they make this interesting when he pokes him.
Yeah, I never even really paid attention to it.
Oh god, even the first time I saw the movie, that drove me up the goddamn wall.
You have you and sound effects, man.
Sound effects are such an important thing in a movie.
I'm not trying. I'm just busting your balls because you should be a Foley artist with how much attention to detail you pay to fucking sound effects.
Oh my god, sound effects always fascinate me in movies, and when they're used improperly, because like you said, Foley artists blow my goddamn mind. There was an entire Mythbusters episode on Foley artists, and it was absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite episodes they ever did.
Yeah, I like the whole...
I add shit to our videos all the time. You know, something about sound effects. I just enjoy sound effects unless they're used horribly.
Yeah, and even outside of Foley artists, but just sound design really, really impresses me. Like one of my favorite things about Baby Driver is it is impressive just listening to that fucking... You could enjoy that movie without actually watching it, I think. If you just listen to it as like a book on tape almost, I think you would get something out of that movie because it's so cool the way it's designed.
Mystery Science Theater. They're on a dirt road, and Crow points out, why are there screeching tires when they hit the brake on a dirt road?
There's not exactly asphalt
on pavement. It just
on the
goes...
Yeah.
You know what sound effect you do not hear in Batman the Animated Series? They were smart because they know the Batmobile is jet propelled. It's not propelled by its tires, so the tires never peel out when the Batmobile takes off through the entire series.
Yeah, it's basically just a neutral
on turns and stuff.
Yeah.
But the wheels never peel out and make that squeal because they know the propulsion's coming out of the back.
Yeah, because it's basically a neutral, just having the Yeah. Interesting.
The entire series, you will never once hear.
I'm learning all kinds of shit today because of Ron's crazy ass attention to sound detail. Like
I love sound. I don't know why.
No. I think the thing I was gonna say though is before I mentioned Baby Driver, I was watching a special feature on the guy who does most of the sound effects for the Abrams Star Trek movies.
Uh-huh.
And like it was really fascinating too because he actually got to go into the studio and go through the archives and actually implement sound effects from the 60s show and then put them through like an enhancer and actually bring them up to date for modern times. I was like stuff like that's really, really cool.
Nice.
All right, my next one is totally unnecessary use of CGI. And the number one fucking instance of this is the claws in the bathroom on X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And once again, segue is Marvel and Marvel.
And you even like that movie, but it's fucking... It is like a sick... It was like it was optioned out to a fucking 6th grader, dude.
I don't understand the purpose that served in that scene.
And like...
There's no reason why he can't have the actual claws that he has throughout the movie.
And that's one of the best scenes ever with Wolverine was the practical effect in the very first scene he's introduced. You remember when like they have the close-up of the blades exiting like the fake skin? It's one of the coolest scenes they ever did with him. Why 10 years later, technology-wise, they're unnecessarily throwing up crappy Photoshop claws for no fucking reason is beyond me.
It's not even that. It's 10 years later using 20-year-old technology to do it. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like it would have been...
The base of the claws on his hand are moving up and down and around. They don't even stay in a fixed point on his hand.
It would have been annoying even if it had been great CGI just because of how pointless it was. Like,
I mean, if it had been great CGI, I would have given it a pass. I mean,
yes. Like
I still don't know what the purpose is.
Like in Logan, I bet in Logan, there are a lot of instances where it is CGI, but it's so good you don't notice. That's fine.
Have you ever seen Michonne's sword on The Walking Dead during actual filming?
No. Does she even have anything there? Like, is it...
She has the hilt when she's actually fighting zombies. The blade that you always see is CGI.
That's kind of like how they do Amel on Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
He never actually has an arrow. He's just reaching and grabbing nothing, and it's all done in post. And how they do that on a fucking CW budget is like beyond me. Like, that's nuts.
And both are examples of it done well. Because Michonne's sword, I mean, sure, you can say her sword and the arrows are all moving so fast. It doesn't matter. Those are objects that move fast. Yeah. But it's done well. I never suspected her sword was CGI for the longest time until I saw a featurette.
Yeah, if it's done well enough to fool me, great. Like when they're able to do that on TV budgets, and a fucking X-Men movie, courtesy of fucking Fox, couldn't do better than that. Like that is nuts to me.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The other one that bugged me was, you know how much I love The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. When they did the remake, they used exclusive CGI, and I think they lost a lot of like the heart and soul of the movie because the CGI wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't The Thing. Like, it looked more like a Resident Evil or like a Silent Hill movie than a Thing movie because like those practical effects are like so inherent to the film.
Yeah.
That I think it shouldn't have even made if that was going to be the approach they had. But that's more of like just a pet peeve as far as like me being pro. Like, I don't have an issue if you can fool me, but if you can't fool me, go practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your next one?
Mine, again, is a nitpick, but it drives me up the goddamn wall. And I get why this happens. I completely understand why this happens. And there's nothing they can really do about it, but it drives me and my dad up the fucking wall. I'm a car guy, I'm a motorcycle guy, and when I see motorcycles in movies, it fucking pisses me off most of the time when they do two things. Your new webcam, I can actually see Wicket like moving around.
Wicket in HD.
He used to just be a pixelated blob back there.
Yeah.
So, I started talking, his head was like, anyways, back to point. Hating. The best example I can give of this because of the camera angles is, you've given me shit for this, is Mission Impossible 2.
Okay. I've seen Mission Impossible 2. I can't remember it, so you're going to have to explain to me like what exactly.
So, I said I get why they have to do this, but don't give me a goddamn gratuitous camera angle of it if you do it. Street tires on street, off-road tires off-road. Drives me up the goddamn wall. Because when did the hero get off his motorcycle and switch out his goddamn tires?
Oh, see, I wouldn't even know the difference in looking at them because I'm not
the street tires look like tires on your car, right? They have the grooves in them. You know what a dirt bike looks like with the knobby tires?
Yeah.
That's what they have off-road.
So they just magically switch in the middle of the scene, basically.
They just magically switch in the middle of the scene.
I'm not a motorcycle or a car.
And it'll switch several times. The other thing is, anyone that has ever even known a person or been around a person that rides a motorcycle will know that if the motorcycle lays over on its side, most of the time, you're spending the next 10 to 20 minutes trying to get it to start. You don't just magically pick it up and it starts. Because when it lays over, it floods the carburetor. Even the fuel-injected ones have issues with that. It floods the bike. It's incredibly difficult to restart them.
Gotcha.
And in most movies, they just pick them up, start them, and go. I'm like, fuck you. I've ridden several dirt bikes in my time, and every time that I laid it over or fell over or crashed it, I spent a considerable amount of time trying to get it restarted.
That's a solid one. Like, I never even in a million years would have even thought to look on bikes off-road versus street. So that's
Mission Impossible 2 is the reason I think I started looking for it hard in every movie, because Ballistic X versus Sever. And Ballistic X versus Sever, they do it too. But the camera angle, the camera is like actually attached off the fender at wheel level. So in your face is a street tire, and then the next scene in your face is knobbies. And it's like the main focal point on screen, and everything else is in the background. And I'm just like, why are you showing me you did this?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. What is our time check?
57:45.
All right. I'm going to do one more, and I think we'll call it depending on how quickly I can get through this. But I think you know what my biggie is. That when you do this in a movie or TV show, you will lose a star or a number off of your score. And that is raining at motherfucking funerals. Because it is such a stupid-ass trope to me. Yeah. I have been to numerous funerals. Guess how many times it was raining at those funerals, Ron?
I've had overcast, but I've never
never.
Yeah.
And it's like 9 times out of 10 if you watch a movie or TV show. It's like, dude, like the one that really pissed me off. Because like, here's the thing. If your thing is like set in like Seattle, that's one thing. I'm understandably going to be, looking for rain if it's set in fucking Seattle. The season 2 finale, I think it was, of The Flash. Have you ever seen it rain in Central City once in the history of that motherfucking TV show? They got a funeral, boom, it's there. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, Flash. God damn, it pisses me off. Watchmen. I really, really like Watchmen, but I'm pretty sure like one of the only times you see it raining in the fucking movies during the funeral scene, and it's like fucking pouring. It's like, it's drizzly at other points, particularly with Rorschach to give like the streets puddles.
I remember scenes of it just pouring off of Rorschach's face and like
there might be a
couple of his chin and stuff.
But it's not like gratuitous raining the way
you could already
like,
tell I was about to call your ass out on that, because I remember a lot of the nighttime scenes with Rorschach, it seemed like it was raining.
But at the same time,
why at the funeral specifically?
Why always at the funeral? Like, we get it. I don't need it to be fucking raining to understand I should be sad when someone fucking died in your fucking story. Like, good God, it irritates me.
Yeah.
It irritates me so much. And
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 did it too, didn't they?
Probably. I don't know.
They?
The one that always sticks in my mind too. Although
Batman
they get
Begins.
a little bit. What?
Batman Begins.
Did it cry? Did it rain at the funeral in that one?
Alfred's holding the umbrella over Master Wayne.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
But it is Gotham. They have terrible weather. They even make a joke of that in Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like.
So that one might get a pass. I don't know. On
a case-by-case basis, like at certain instances, it's fine and it makes sense. It's just like with the Flash, when it is gratuitously used, when it has never fucking rained in Central City in the history of forever. And it's like, everyone, remember, someone died. Be sad, raindrops. God damn it. So stupid.
Thomas Jane Punisher did it too. I remember it was raining. And
it doesn't like kill a movie for me. Like it sounds like certain like here's a question, just kind of like wrap up the subject for this week's episode basically.
Okay.
Any of the pet peeves you have talked about, are any of them bad enough where it can actually straight up ruin a movie for you?
Maybe an out of place sound effect if it's really out of place, but most of what I was talking about will pull me out of a movie.
Pull you out of the scene as opposed to ruining the movie, basically.
I have one that took several stars off of a movie, but so far in my list, yeah, I've got some I didn't talk about. I've got like two.
Oh yeah, we'll save those for next time.
But no, the ones I talked about, they all definitely. Nothing annoys me more. If it ruins the movie's ruined for me. Nothing annoys me more when I'm enjoying a movie and then you just rip me out of it.
The one that can ruin a movie.
I think that's why these explode for me so much. Why a stupid bicycle ring every time I see a bicycle. I see the bicycle. I don't need you to remind me that you can buy a little bell that goes ding ding.
The one that I talked about today, they can really ruin a movie for me, just like it did with Evil Dead, is characters doing stupid shit for no reason.
Yeah.
Just because it is such like, especially in instances where it easily could have been avoided, and it's just not, because it's just like nothing pisses me off more than lazy writing. I want to see that you fucking tried. You got paid to write the goddamn movie. At least show that you tried.
Yeah. And try at the very least try not to insult your audience.
Yes, that's a very, very good point. Like when I'm watching Bayformers, I'm expecting it to be dumb.
Speaking of insulting your audience,
I'm expecting them to be dumb.
You did it literally.
Yeah.
If you're a black person sitting in Transformers, you are not enjoying yourself.
Like Transformers, was it Revenge of the Fallen? Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it is an abomination at points.
We don't read too good.
We don't know. We don't do much reading. I think that is.
Is that the line?
I think that's the line. It's burned into my brain.
Dear God, is all I had to say.
We could do an entire series of pet peeves just from the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Oh, those movies are pet peeves.
Yeah. CGI blurred pet peeves, basically, for 3 hours.
I need to write one down right now.
Movies being too long? That's a good one.
That's not mine, but
every fucking movie Michael Bay has ever done. Lower your goddamn runtime. Give me an 80-minute movie with 60 minutes of Transformers, not a 3-hour movie with 20 minutes of fucking Transformers. That's just fucking stupid to me.
It's humans featuring appearances by the Transformers.
It is Shia LaBeouf and the rest. And I think on that note, did you have anything else you want to touch up on before we sign off for the day?
No, if we don't end this at some point, we're just going to spend all night doing
We're just going to be here at 4 a.m. You know what really grinds my gears, Ron? Why did we not name that the segment? What really grinds my gears 1.0. That's the name of the segment now.
That's the name of the segment.
Yep. All right. This has been There Will Be Expletives. Plenty of expletives this time. You're welcome. We should probably make an effort to have more ranty subjects every now and then because we've been pretty gushy and positive-y gross for the last 2 months.
I need a shower after those
just because we've been actual shit we enjoyed, fucking selfish bastards the two of us are. But yeah, we'll have to look into that because this was fun. It's very cathartic getting on the internet and just yelling for fucking no reason. You know what fucking grinds my gears? Goddamn bicycle bells, America.
Fuck your bicycle bells and your knobby tires.
I often have a thing, a running joke, that I say, this is why we haven't cured cancer. You and I arguing about CGI Wolverine claws and bicycle bells, we are part of the problem as to why cancer has not been cured yet.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument about the CGI Wolverine claws that nobody would have Wolverine claws to begin with.
We had one, but when we were watching Homecoming, Philip had something where I was like, really? He has spider powers and that was your issue?
That was your go-to. What was it?
Was it something to do with the lockers? I can't remember. I'll have to ask him, but he had something. We'll have to ask him.
He definitely didn't like something about the lockers, but I don't think that was it.
We'll have to ask him.
We have to figure this out. That's driving me nuts.
To be continued. Dun dun dun. Let's see. Please like and subscribe. That gets you all of our content. In addition to our news vodcast, we have a Game of Thrones show, which is actually returning in its entirety this weekend. We will have it up and running hopefully Sunday night. ASAP.
Oh, goddamn time.
I'm so excited. I actually prepared the fucking upload document today because I'm so excited. That never happens. Usually it happens 5 minutes before airtime.
I was gonna say, what was it, 5 days this time or something?
Yeah, it was such an event. I actually put in the subject line.
I was stunned when I got that in my inbox.
Yeah, I'm excited. Fucking almost feature link.
It's just the first episode. It's not like Netflix. It's just the first episode.
What pisses me off is they all exist. We could have it all in one sitting. We could, but they won't give it to us, Ron. It burns us precious. I'm totally lost territory. This outro has been 20 minutes long. It feels like.
Social media links are in the description.
Links for Facebook and Twitter are in the description below. Please follow us there. Please share us out to your friends. Join in the wholesome family dose of weekly expletives that we give out. And don't forget to follow Geoff on comicbookresources.com. Yes, if you follow the website, you will definitely see my bylines. Bunch of ones recently over Spider-Man Homecoming that you might want to check out. I'm Geoff. I'm Ron. And we will see you next week, guys.